Okay, starting my recap of, I think it's game 2 of Sotek Sentries. This game's versus College Crunch. Pretty definitive ball control for the Lizards. Not an exceedingly different amount of blocks. Not really a lot of armor breaks for either side, which is definitely more surprising for the Nurgle side, seeing as how Rotters are only AV8, and so are Pestigors, but... Wow, that beast never failed to really stupid. Interesting. Anyway, not a whole lot I can tell from this, so definitely gonna have to watch the game. Okay, who won the coin flip there? College Crunch. Interesting that they chose to kick first. I don't hate it. It's an interesting screen. Now this screen would be pretty useful against almost any other team, but you can easily 2-dice one of these holes. Like, really easily. Free reroll for the Nurgle, and ball stays in. That's a wicked kick. God damn. One thing I will say is you could have easily made that a 3-dice, this particular block right here. Whenever you have the option of making a 3-dice, you should try to do so. Especially on someone like a Crocs. Also, if you're gonna 2-dice with him, do these other blocks first. He's got loners, so, you know, every once in a while you're gonna fail that. Alright, where's the blitz gonna be here? Are you going to blitz? Could have easily blitzed this router. He had the movement. First action, well, first real action. Okay. Wow! That's why we don't do 2-dice with loners first. Even though it kind of worked out for him. Mostly just a lot of pushing around so far this game. I don't hate the basing. This is too many players in one area, though. One thing I will note is that this router has a 2-dice on this kink. Which I'm not a huge fan of. I'm not sure why he went for that hit instead of using the assists to make that a 2-dice with the warrior, but okay. That's the first removal. Do you have an Apo? You do. Oh, 2 dice on the... 2 dice loner. Feel the need to point that out, that he made a 2 dice loner hit first. Before doing this one that's not loner. Granted, he's been getting rewarded in spades, but... that could have came back to bite him in the ass. Bonehead. Again, don't do first action Crocs hits. Is it a loner? That is a loner. Okay. One thing about skinks is that loner skinks are actually pretty good because the only dice roll they really care about, they have a reroll anyway. Oof. Oh, you get a removal though, so the 1 dice was kind of worth it. Unfortunately, the beast has an easy 2 dice on the Saurus, which he's presumably going to go for. A lot of players in this scrum here. Hitting the Crocs for some reason. That was stupided. Okay, this was a strange play on his behalf. I mean, he can base the ball, but chooses not to. And, I mean, you can literally just 2 dice this way, push him in. But we don't. Okay. 1 and 9. So one thing I am going to note here is that you did have the ability here to hit this guy in, put the pressure up here, and move your skink and remaining source up. You could have even blocked this guy up with this guy, hit this way, push him there, and then walk up to here, and then move your 2 skinks up to this area. And I'm not saying that's the correct play. I'm just not quite sure if you score this. I mean, granted, it's quite early in the play. Also, I would have liked to see this Crocs just activate and walk somewhere earlier, just in case, you know, you did get something like a dub skull or both down. Okay, can't surf you. Just knocks you down. Unfortunately, that guy's kind of stuck there now, and this hole is now closed. Just a really scrum-heavy game here. I now see why you took so many blocks. It's just a big scrum this half. You're taking like 4 hits a turn. When both sides, neither side has block, though, I mean, games are often like this. Just trying to see who rolls more 1 and 9s. Unfortunately, it's been you. You've rolled pretty poor block dice this half. One thing I will note is that regardless of whatever else happens this half, he has moved like all his players onto this side. Okay. Now, basically, I'm not really sure what happens here. I want to pause before I actually see what you do. Okay. Don't do Crocs first actions before you move. Like, right now your ball carrier is exposed, you don't have a reroll. I know it works, but you gotta be careful with that kind of stuff. All he has to do is move. If you screwed that up and this guy went down, he can just move a Pestigore here and then 2 dice you. Or sorry, move one of these Rotters down and then 2 dice you with the Warrior. And he stands a pretty decent shot at getting your ball free. But one thing I will note at this point is, like, almost all of his players are on this side of the pitch. He has a speed 5 person here. With your skinks, you could easily rocket back to this side, keep this area blocked up with your Saurus, maybe a skink or two, and then just move down this area. He's not fast enough to really be able to redeploy before you're in the area. Ooh, I don't like that. You're gonna get surfed. That was a casual 6+ Saurus dodge. Gotta be careful with those kind of plays. Gotta check tackle zones before you move. Your ball is wickedly open. Although, because he followed up, now he can't hit it. Lizard Armor just not holding fast this half, but then again, you're taking a lot more hits than you're given, so... Like a lot of hits. I think at this point you gotta switch to this side before you make blocks like that. That's why we don't do 2 dice blocks until we move first. I'm guessing you don't score this half, seeing as how you're currently based. Boxed in pretty hard here now. Nope, just a push. Oh, that's right, he's sidestepper. That's good at least. Poor Saurus just getting bashed up though. Okay, so with no rerolls at this point, your best play is to dodge out your skink. That was... oh yeah, I guess that's Boneheads. That's only a 2+ normally. You can use this Saurus to, like, block this area off before you do any more blocks. Pull this skink back to here. Dodge this other skink free. Because doing this, you're just pushing your dudes even further in when, like, realistically, you just want to get this skink out. And you don't want to make GFIs with no rerolls. When you don't need to. I mean, I guess it kind of needed to at that point, but now you're definitely not scoring. He's not scoring either, though, most likely, so... Well, I mean, I know he doesn't score, but... It would be difficult for him to score at this point. But yeah, like, that's one thing I will note this half, is that you kind of let yourself get boxed in. Mostly just, you had some awful dice rolls early, but when you can, before you make 2 dice blocks, move your players. Especially in the case of your skinks. Especially when your skink's carrying the ball. If you had moved a skink up here like a turn earlier, you might have been able to, like, move over here and do a handoff or something. Which still might not have worked, but at least, you know, you'd have a skink up, standing up, free over here, able to actually be a scoring threat. However, he just picked up the ball with his only scoring threat. So, he's not scoring this half. Gonna try to surf you. He did it improperly though, so it's a 1 dice. Oh, but it works. He's getting all the lizards removed this half. On the upside, you're relatively okay, assuming at least one of these guys comes back. Pow! No chance of a score, but he's trying to get some SPP here, which I totally get. Ooh, getting the beast out. That's a good one. Alright, this was a really good turn for removals, at least, for your half. Go, Skink, go! Aw. So currently we got 3 Saurus and a Skink out, but 2 of them are fine, so that's not the end of the world. He's going to get 2 free blocks this turn, which is not that much. You've gotten 3 real removals to his 2, so not the end of the world, but he has a babe, so his will come back more often than yours. Guess we'll see how that works out in practice. Kind of surprised he didn't use the reroll there. Seeing as how this is his last action. I guess he's going to use it now. Oof. Badly hurt. Yeah, it's not worth that point. All 3 come back. And your Skink comes back, of course. So it's 9 on 11. I'm deeply curious as to how he doesn't score in this half. With a 2-player advantage. Okay. I gotta note one thing about this setup. This doesn't do anything. You've left too many holes here. Like, if he knocks these 2 players inwards, or just one of them inwards, he can just send the guy down here to hit you on the inside. You can't... You gotta... It's gotta be 2 spaces, just 2. Just 2 spaces between them. So you need this guy to be here, and him to be here, and then these 2 further in. If what you're trying to do is protect your Skinks. Early Nurgle's not too likely to be racing past you, so you don't really need to be fully spread out at this point. All he has is 1 Pestigore, so he only has 1 movement 6 player. All the rest of his guys are 4 or 5. He does have the 2-player advantage, which is deeply unfortunate. Why does he only have... He only has 3 Nurgle warriors. Oh, he's the 3 reroll Nurgle build. This is a very peculiar setup, I must say. I mean, I guess he's doing this in case of a blitz, but... You get a Riot, which is actually not bad for you. He immediately starts with a 2 dice on the Beast, which is incredibly reckless. Doesn't get punished, though. Going for Saurus hits over Skinks, that's interesting. Gets the ball. Okay, this is peculiar that he left you 2 extra LOS hits. Really peculiar. Unfortunately, you immediately won in 9. Okay. So one thing I will say, like I said previously, especially once you've already won in 9, stop blocking until you reposition your players. Like, especially the player that was on the ground. Like, at least stand him up and put him somewhere. Your block dice are atrocious. Go, Skink, go! Oof. Well, at least he's fine. I'd have preferred you just kept him back in this area, but it's not the end of the world. Deeply curious as to how he doesn't score with this kind of player advantage / cage. Especially when he has 3 rerolls tier 1. This is not a cage. Why is he blitzing with his cage? Gets a POW. And a removal. Well, I guess he wasn't punished for that. Immediately follow it with a Beast Blitz. Nice, so he's pushing you around, but that's not really a big deal. And then dodge against Prehensile Tail is a 4+. And fail, fail. Okay. So we start immediately with a okay. That was a bad block to do first because now you've based up against your skink. So many 1 and 9s. Oh my god, you need to get some block. Hopefully soon. Foul appearance, doing a thing, and another 1 and 9. Wow. Man, it's like every hit from the Nurgle is a knockdown, and every hit you do knocks both of you down. However, he's potatoing with his ball. Just straight up potatoing. Means if you can get this guy free somehow... I guess that's getting this lizard free, which you can use to bring over here. Yeah, there we go. Well, this guy can 1-dice a beast, I guess. Not sure I like that, but not the end of the world. Get some skinks up. Oh yeah. Whew. At least those 2 fails weren't together. He's going to go for all these greedy blocks, though, so if any of these fail, you're in a really good shot to hit his ball. Ah, there we go. That'll do it. That's why we move our ball carrier first. Because now, the ball carrier gets 2-diced, with a skink right next to him. And literally goes... Ooh, that's a bad scatter, actually. I wouldn't have moved there, I would have moved here. The problem with where you moved right now is if this guy wants to pick up the ball, he's got to dodge. Actually, I guess it's the same no matter what, because he's a skink, now that I think about it. Skinks dodge into tackle zones on a 3, so I guess it doesn't really matter. Bonehead, not the end of the world. Picks it up, and just stunties all over the place. And we dodge out as well. Okay, that worked out excellent. I will note that if he just does this block, I don't know why he did that as a blitz. So now we can't blitz your ball. I don't know if that was a misclick or... I'm assuming it was a misclick. I can't think of any reason why he would do that. Oof. Loner. Ooh. Yep, that's the unfortunate thing about Loner. It would have been much easier done with this player if he had just dodged out. But then again... Okay, again, no rerolls. Get your ball carrier out first. Get your ball free. The ball. Free it. Free the ball. The ball. Move the ball. Oh my god, the ball. A 1 dice is less reliable. Oh my god. You have a 3+ dodge for the reroll. It's still safer than that. Yeah, he's gonna base you up again. Probably gonna do a risky block. Doesn't get punished. He doesn't have any loose players anymore, though. He could have pushed this guy free if he did this block earlier, but I guess he can still do it. That's not the player he should have done it with, though. He should have done it with the beast, because then he can push you this way. He knocks you down. But again, no matter where he goes, it's a 3+3+ with a reroll. Not exactly difficult. And then finally the beast hit. He could have totally hit your ball there if he had understood the priority of it, but yeah. And you go backwards, which not a terrible idea. I don't hate it. I would honestly blitz with your Crocs. Get him free and then put him up here somewhere. Or with this guy, either or. Either way, you'd be able to tie up this player. Ooh, nice, an injury. Always need that SPP. Yep, I like the Crocs hit. You don't follow, and then you can move somewhere up here. Which is totally the play to do here. 1 dice, not so much, but I don't hate it. Is he just going to foul your skink? What's he doing? Is he just going to make the casual 2 GFIs? He does. Push City at this end of this game. But again, all you need to do is just make a 3+ and you're out. Really surprised that Beast didn't cause any Kaz this game. That many hits with Mighty Blow. Even on AV7, he should have gotten some. So all in all, like, I'm not saying, like, you played poorly, because you definitely played okay. You just gotta be careful, especially, like, with your block priority. You don't want to be doing 2 dice when you could be moving instead. Because, yeah, I mean, 2 dice are relatively safe, but they're not as safe as just standing someone up. And in some cases, like, yeah, you can make a 2+, or a 2 dice block, but you should be repositioning your players before you make some of them. Once you have a bunch of players with block, it's not as big of a deal. You won't suffer from the 1 and 9s as much. It'll only be dub skulls that'll fail you at that point. But until that point, you got to be super careful how many blocks you're giving out, and especially when you're using the Crocs, especially on the LOS hits. If you hit with 2 Saurus and push out, and then you leave 2 players in the middle with your Crocs basing like a strength 3 player, it's a 3 dice hit. With a 3 dice hit, you're statistically pretty unlikely to triple skull or, all both downs or whatever. It could still happen though, and just, make sure that you're not using the Crocs first. Luckily enough, you didn't have any major Crocs fails here, like he did with his Beast twice. 2 times the Beast ended his turn. which happens. Other than that, like, the dice rolls were fairly even. He rolled a ton of pows, like, just when he needed them. You guys both pushed each other an absolute ton. He rolled a lot more, but I mean, he rolled significantly more block dice than you did, so that makes sense. I guess that's it. Yeah. Definitely like a pretty decent win. You just got to be more careful what you're doing with the ball, and just try to prioritize the security of your ball and your skinks just in general before you make a whole bunch of 2 dice blocks that don't have block. But that's it. So I hope this is helpful, and have a good one.